Yo, I may cuss, but I don't curse. Let's get that situated first. Ladies, what's going on? Back with another one. We're going to be talking about relationships. If you haven't watched the male version of this breaking the ice, so to speak, video, please go take a look at it. You might be able to pick up some gems, even though it's for the men. Bars, nice. We know that already. So let's get to y'all joint, right? So, ladies, I want to begin by speaking about the Kabbalah tree of life and what it represents. You know, the bottom half represents the emotions, the roots, the ground, right? And above that, we have the tree, the branches, the fruits, the leaves, the growth. So, in an aspect of the psyche, the bottom half represents the feminine, the top half represents the masculine. And this is not like in a degrading type of way, like you're below and things of that nature. We know negative signs, feminine signs in astrology is to receive. It's the earth signs and it's the water signs, right? It's down below anyway. I'm a Pisces, so you understand what I'm saying? But I think it's very important to start this off with because um, women more are familiar, we should say, with the lower part, the roots, the ground, receiving the water and able to create a foundation in order for things to grow. And a lot of the times when it comes to dating and relationships, men are doing terrible when it comes to emotions. I'm just keeping it a bean. And because women's biology is receptive to receive, y'all are catching falling knives a lot, often. What I see from observation, what I see in my own experiences sometimes, what I see when I deal with some of my clients sometimes. Women are catching falling knives all of the time. So the terminology for falling knives is basically saying that women are catching the penis when it's coming down. Hey, yo, I know it's kind of crazy, but listen, hear me out. And although, you know, you may love missionary style and this, that, and the third, it's also symbolic. It's like an analogy. It also means like catching a falling knife. So if you catch a falling knife, you flip it up in the air, let's say you're a chef or something like that, you catch it, it's going to cut all through your fingers and all through your palm and your hand and all that. You're going to get injured. And so that analogy plays into the part of when you are accepting and embracing a man who is not on their square, you are catching a falling knife. And it's happening often. I'm just keeping it a bean. It's happening often. People are calling it hypergamy. People are calling it hitting wall. People are calling it life after menopause. People are calling it y'all whole phase. People are calling it whatever they call it. I'm more interested to hear what y'all got to say or what y'all are calling it. Your younger years, your whole phase. I've heard y'all call it y'all whole phase before. Let's keep it a bean, right? But you know, it's that mentality or that behavior. And a lot of the times I'd say, well, women are being women. What do you expect? You know what I'm saying? They are on the receiving end, biologically, naturally. However, I think that y'all should take into consideration that every problem that we have in the world came through your your universe. You push them out. And I know that's like, damn, that's harsh, Benji. Like, what's really good? And it's like, yo, I got to keep it a being with you. So, you know, just the other day, right? I'm in my travels. I'm going to handle some business. I promise you, I'm not outside playing around. I'm going outside to handle some business, right? I bump into a dude who was obviously mentally challenged. I'm gonna just say challenged. Let me say disturbed because I don't know how challenged he was, but he was mentally disturbed and he's walking past and I seen him from down the block. I seen like he was like looking at other people the way he was looking at other people. I see his body language. To me, it just looked like dude was just raised by his mom. No father figure, no male figure at all. No discipline in his life. Probably never did a bid. Not saying that you need to go or your sons need to go, but I'm just saying a lot of guys that go to military and stuff when they're younger, ROTC, whatever the case may be, borrow some nights. We know that already. Because of this, they understand that and they're like, yo, I'm better off getting out of here before I don't know how to handle here. And he was just seemed to be in that type of mental state. And he stops, turns around. He's like, yo, what you looking at? What you looking at? I almost didn't say this story because I just felt like, man, I had to check myself because I stopped. Usually I don't care. I just keep it pushing. I already know what the crazies look like from a block away. You know what I'm saying? I keep it pushing. It's New York City. I already know how they giving it up. But I stopped this time. And I don't think he expected that at all. I think he's used to people just like getting away from him, hurrying up, speeding off, or whatever the case may be. And I just stopped. I'm not going to start speaking about why I stopped. My point here is that you can tell when there's no male figures in these guys' lives. You can tell when they've just been raised by their mom, because their response to everything, or their reaction, their aggression, the way that they maneuver, is all raw emotions. It's the bottom half of the Kabbalistic tree. It's that raw emotion that's unfiltered. It hasn't been pruned. It hasn't been watered. It hasn't been nurtured in order to sprout and come up and begin to grow outwardly, externally. You get what I'm saying? And men are not doing well when it comes to emotions in general, period. Now, this even goes for some of the best of us, or what we perceived or alleged to be the best of us men, when it's like, you know, they put a persona up, or even some start out that way of being, you know, manly, but as soon as they start getting some pussy or whatever the case may be, as soon as they start interacting with y'all on a Venus type level, relations, too much time on that pussy, they start falling apart, they get off their square, you start catching the falling knife. Now, ladies, I need y'all to think about this, you know what I'm saying? Like I said, y'all, every problem that we have, y'all have pushed out. Yeah, it takes two to tango, but think about that. Because you could say no. Everybody ain't out there getting raped, ladies. Y'all ain't all out there getting raped. So think about that next time you about to have sex, fornicate, whatever you want to call it. You know what I'm saying? Think about that, because in one instance, it's like I said in the male video, like, we have semen, a lot of guys are doing semen retention to the utmost, to where they don't ever want to let their seed go. And I'm like, yo, that's unhealthy, dude. You got to let one go, bro. They're like, yo, get jacked, bro. And just like, let one go, bro. How about that? And it's just like, we got to argue with y'all to take on some semen. And it's like, listen, y'all are pulling out full babies from getting our semen that way. But do we need to retain the semen in order to fight off the emotionally unstable, the emotionally disturbed? Remember, y'all pushing them out. If y'all want the semen in that form, where's the men in the household? Where's the men? The uncles, somebody, where are they at? Because if they continue to keep growing the way that they're growing, then there's going to be an implode of war inwardly. You understand what I'm saying? And it starts at the family. It'll begin right there in the family. And then outwardly, it expands. You understand what I'm saying? So you got to think about that. You know what I'm saying? And think about this also. It feels so good coming in, right? Pause. But it does, right? On the receiving end. Bars are nice. We know that already. Y'all getting it good. But is the pain when you're pushing them out? Think about that. How much pain you are caused when you're pushing them out. Is it worth it? Now, I know that's kind of harsh to say, right? Of course your kids are worth it. Of course they are. But let's consider the murderers, moms and dads. Let's consider the murderers, the people who blow up buildings and stuff like that. What about their parents? I'm just saying to consider it. I'm not saying to put yourself in their shoes. Just consider it as a thought experiment. You know what I'm saying? So I say that. I tell y'all to look at that, because, you know, who's winning? And I'm talking about you. Are you winning by going through everything that you're going through? Because women go through so much of giving everything that you have to this earth, to this life, to these men and everything. Is it worth it? At home with the kids tugging on your tits all of the time. Is it worth it, or are you fucking crazy? Have you been going crazy? Now, my point is, catch the knife by the shaft, ladies, because you can throw up the knife and you can catch it by the handle. Hand jobs. You understand what I'm saying? Just start thinking a little bit. I'm just trying to get the thoughts growing. Because men are failing at emotions. Men are crashing out. They are crash dummies all over the place. And talking about the life force of how women are supposed to nurture. And women do nurture, right? But for the first, I think the World Book of Guinness Records, talking about bodily fluids and stuff like that, right? Shorty went 13 years breastfeeding straight, but she had kid after kid after kid. So I think it's like an average of 2 to 3 years a woman breastfeeds. And, you know, she kept pumping them out. She kept breastfeeding, and whatever the case may be. Now, again, the repetition of pushing them out, right? Pushing humans here. So we deal with them. And then when we got problems and obstacles, and it's like, oh, war, stop this in Palestine and stop this everywhere. And it's just like, well, what do you want us to do? What are we supposed to do? The same people that we're pushing out are the same people that we got to either jail off or apprehend or counsel or give resources to. give education to, yada, 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 if they're not reared in a proper way, right? So it's like the life force of the breast milk, the tit milk, right, is only temporarily. A man is put on this planet and there is no end to no end when he stops ejaculating. Like, we just keep on going and keep on going with that ball juice. Consider that as well. Consider that as well, because again, every problem that we have on the earth, y'all pushed out. Don't even put it on me right now. Y'all pushed them out, ladies. Y'all pushed them out. Y'all wanted the semen that way. Y'all got it. Y'all pushed them out. So now, what does this got to do with relationships? It got a lot to do with relationships because of that aspect. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of broken homes, but it's like, if your intention is, I'm going to get mine. I know women that hustle kids. You know what I'm saying? I'm not proud to say that. I don't know how to feel about it. I'm not a woman. You know what I'm saying? But I know women that hustle kids, and it's just like, I was born a hustler, so I understand what it is to hustle. But it's just like, children, like whole humans, consider this. Consider this. Because it's real in the field. Now, think about your Saturn return is something else that I want to speak to y'all about, ladies, because I want you to think about what a Saturn return is. This is 29 years. Oh, in the male video, I misspoke when I said a Venus return is 8 years. A Venus cycle is an 8-year journey, but a Venus transit is about like 226 days. But a Venus cycle, I've been doing like solar return charts and stuff like that. So, but tracking a Venus cycle is very important when you're doing certain readings for certain people and stuff like that as well. So I want y'all to look at your Saturn return and ask yourself, do you like it? Like, seriously. Excuse me. Don't lie to me, or don't front for me. Don't front for other people. Do you like your Saturn return? Do you relate to it? And do you understand it? Ask yourself those questions. Is very important. And do you understand why it's there? Because if so, you could utilize the Ephesians quote. I don't remember exactly what chapter and verse it is, but it got something to do with ladies, follow a man who's following the Lord. It says something like that. Excuse me if I butchered it to all of the Christians and the Bible readers. In astrology, we will reference that to a man being on a square, which is representative of Saturn. Isn't it ironic how the Christians celebrate in Jesus Christ, which is the sun, and in astrology, Saturn is about staying on your square and being responsible, which the Christians have perverted and called saying, all right, don't let me digress or distract us from the message that's going on right here. But that just dawned on me. But if you're into Saturn return, you know what it is, you understand it, you like it, you have come to terms with it, then you should be inspired to follow a man, is what I'm saying. Because if we revert back to what I said in the beginning of men are failing emotionally, y'all are catching fallen knives out there, and it's ruining foundations, roots, family roots, and things of that nature, you would want to look into that. Now, really, like, do a Saturn return. You know what I'm saying? Look and reflect on your Saturn return. Because when a man is not on the square, ladies, he is a falling knife. And I'm telling you, even the best of them, they fall in love with you. You a baddie, you a nerd, whatever it is you do, and they fall in love with you. They get too much, or that sniff, or that scent, or that whiff, or that, you know what I'm saying? And then they start missing appointments. They stop doing things that they usually do. When a man stops doing things he would normally do and starts doing things for you that he would not normally do, he is off his square. And if you're into that, because again, I know hustlers all my life. If you hustling, man, and if you getting yours or whatever the case may be, and that's part of your hustle, that's what you do. However, if you don't want to live that way, you know what a Saturn return is, you like it, you resonate with it, you can see yourself following a man who's on his square, consider these things. They are imperative. Ladies, think about baggage. Now, I kind of left this part out of, I left this part out of the males thing too, because it goes both ways. And I say look at baggage because we have intermingling families, blended families, and things of that nature. And spiritually, it's a beautiful thing. It's very Neptunian. It is something that is the most selfless thing that one can do. However, this is why I said look at your Saturn return and get in the comment section if you can, if you feel like you can, and talk about your Saturn return. How much did you gain? How much did you lose? Some people lose. Some people lose horribly at a Saturn return. Some people gain very well. You know what I'm saying? And I'll give you an example, right? During my Saturn return, I ended up got a new apartment, wall-to-wall carpet, bars, nice. We know that already. Got a new job, a new position at the job at that, a supervisor leadership position. Even got the new girl. I got a new girl to go with it, a new baddie to go with all of that, right? And then right at the same time, lost my mom's. Bang. All at the same time during the Saturn return. It was to the point where I was at work and dude was like, the supervisor dude, it was like it was like a day and a half after my mom's passed, bars. And I was like, yo, I got to tell this dude what's going on. You know what I'm saying? Because I got to take off and go get with my aunt and bury my mom. So I'm just like, yo, can I ask you a question? Can I take a day off? Because I got to go, like, bury my mom's. I said, no, man. I said, my mom's died. My mom's passed away. He was like, dude, yeah, take the week off. Go bury your mom, man. And he was looking at me like I had 10 heads, you know what I'm saying? Because I'm not used to that. Like, I'm kind of in a state of shock, but I don't panic. Like, that's just how I carry it, you know what I mean? So, plus I was so joyous for everything that they did for me at that time. I'm just like, yo, I entered school around that time as well, too. So I'm just like killing it. And then, boom, she go. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, yo, reflect on your Saturn return because, and I brought that point up, too, because I told you I got a new shorty, right? At the same time. Now, she was ready to take on my baggage, meaning I got a child. I got children, right? And I'm not with the mom or the children anymore. However, it's a situation still. You know how it be. You know what I'm saying? The baby mama drama, baby father drama, and all of that stuff. So, but she's willing to take it on and this, that, and the third. And now that I reflect on it, even though I was willing to take her through it because she was willing to go through it with me, it was the irresponsible thing to do. It was interfering. There were times when she'd be like, well, you know, I'd get a gift from an ex and she'd be like, you know, what's that about? You know what I'm saying? Not an ex. I'm going to just keep it a G. It was my baby mom's. You know what I'm saying? And she'd be like, yo, what's that about? I thought y'all don't get along. I thought she hates you. And I'm like, yo, she does. She does, but maybe she knows I'm with you now, so now this is what this is doing here. Like, I can't really tell you. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? But I don't fuck with her, be like, pay attention to this because then you bring in the children into it and all of those things, and you never know when that other person is going to pop up and try to read into that person's life. So how do you know how to really pay attention to that? Is everything we thought of making systems for has already been thought of. Like the child support thing is real. So check your man, see if he got child support issues, see if he got ex-wife, ex-husband marital issues and things of that nature, because once the children are grown, 18 depending on what state you are, 21 in different states, that's when you know the cycle is up. So if you want to start a foundation with someone, with a guy, then that would be the time that you would look into doing it on a real level. You know what I'm saying? And this is not law. You do what you want to do. You know what I'm saying? I'm just giving you the gems of it. The gems. Because I know that that's partially why me and my other shorty didn't go to the full length. You know what I mean? That thing was, I still had things going on in my past that would have caught up to me. And that's an uncomfortable feeling when you're trying to build something with someone on the long term and go all the way with them, but you know you got this other thing happening in the background. So it can also be a falling knife. You know what I'm saying? Not willing to understand, a man not willing to understand bars of knives. You know that already, that it's time to let go of that past history thing. You know what I'm saying? The children are 21, they grown now, they on their own. Let them do their thing, rock out. You can guide them, but they're grown now. It's Saturn return square. It's the third square. It's at 21 years old. That's why you get legal and you could drink and all. They say you do whatever you want when you're 21, because 21 to 28, 29, that's your Saturn return. They're going to be an authoritative figure. You know what I mean? Saturn returns also may have something to do with like Illuminati and when people say sacrifices and stuff like that. I'm not saying I sacrificed my mom, y'all. I'm saying that's how it plays out. Not all of the time, but a lot of the time, or often you can see things of that nature happen The 27 club is when? Right before Saturn returned. 27 years old, and they didn't make it to see 29. People say it's Illuminati, they say it's sacrifice. And this is why I'm telling y'all about the baggage, ladies. Pay attention to the baggage and let some cycles play out before you establish something that is solidified, so you don't have to, I would say it'd be less of a worry to have to experience some type of thing that looks ritualistic or sacrificial or something. You understand what I'm saying? Take it from someone who's experienced a lot of deaths around them, for real, and studied astrology and reflected on those things, got the ephemeris, went back to those dates to find out this type of stuff, to dig up family trauma bonds and issues and things of that nature, to heal oneself. You know what I mean? So even though I didn't go into the details and the ins and outs of dating, these things I feel are essential for women who want to be with a man. If you want to be with a man, you want to follow a man. You want to follow a man. You want to be able to follow a man. And if you can't, then do the independent thing by all means. You know, live your love language, live your Venus life, live your 8-year cycle, live your we're having relations, live your sun, live your ego, I'm having fun. You know what I mean? Live your Mercury too. Please, ladies, start getting back into the habit of saying we're talking. Remember back in the day in high school, we used to be like, yo, you talk to so-and-so? Yeah, we talking right now. We only talking. We used to run that, B. Nah, we don't go together. We talking. Yo, get on your Mercury shit. If y'all are just talking, just say that. Yo, we talking. Say it to each other. We talking. You know what I mean? Type shit. Till next time, I'm out.